exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
This is a presentation of Nebraska High School Football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are powered by Edward Stone, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, Doane University, Hamilton Telecommunications, Jimmy John's, Nebraska Army National Guard, Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
All right, we will put a slight pause on calling all the action. Welcome inside 1040 O Street, 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Austin Orman with you. Something new for your listening pleasure, your entertainment here before games. This season, we will be doing a high school football preview show. So 45 minutes before every game. They start at 7, so starting at 6 to 6:45 when Nick and Jay take it for pregame, we will get you ready for the day ahead of you, the evening ahead of you in high school football. For tonight, though, Nick has gone ahead and recorded some preview interviews. First off, in this segment, we will hear from Lincoln Northwest head coach Brian Lauk, Nick's conversation with him. In the second segment, it'll be Lincoln Southwest head coach Grant Trainowitz. Of course, tonight's game that we are bringing you here on these airwaves will be Lincoln Southwest visiting Lincoln North Star. Hope you're excited for these interviews. Hope you're excited about this concept of a high school football pregame show. You're riding around, getting ready to get set for the games. We here at 93.7 The Ticket want to be your home for everything going on in your community, including Lincoln High School football. Without further ado, our first high school preview show of the season kicks off with Nick Sainert and his sit-down with Lincoln Northwest head coach Brian Lauk.
Welcome in. It is time as we continue to count down the days, the hours, the minutes until we kick off high school football season right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Nick Sainert back with you as we continue talking to some coaches around the city and around the state. A really exciting year of high school football coming up. It's just on the horizon. And today we're joined by Lincoln Northwest head football coach Brian Lauk. Coach, appreciate you joining us. I know you and I have had plenty of conversations in different settings. Always good time to catch up. I appreciate you taking time out of the day to do this.
Yes, thank you, Nick, for having me. It's a pleasure being on here. We're excited about the season. Just I bet like every other head coach is in the state. So it does always fill the heart when football's around and we're kicking it off. So excited here to get it rolling in almost a short couple weeks already.
Well, walk me through what these first couple of years for you have been like, because you have a very unique perspective on it from trying to kickstart and start up a football program. And I use that word specifically, program, simply just because you're not trying to build something that's so short term. You're just trying to build something long term. Kind of just walk me through what these first couple of years have been like for you, for your staff, for some of the players, just because to build a program, you need guys, you need athletes that can be there for more than just a year or two.
Yeah. So obviously the first couple of years, it was kind of more a survival mode and what sort of guys can we get out there and have immediate answers. And so it was very vanilla when it came to what do the kids need in order to put product on the field. It was very short notice in terms of what we had in terms of facilities and what we could use. As things have progressed over the last couple of years, year 3 and year 4, obviously this will be year 4 in Class B. We've learned a lot about how can we critique, fine tune, and main thing is prepare our athletes on and off the field for the opponents that we play. And so we've really hammered hard about the culture that we've created in the weight room, in the time that we've had to put in to understand what it takes to be competitive in Class B and just in football in general. So we've tried to develop the kids' understanding of we can draw up plays all day. It comes down to our cohesiveness, our connectiveness, our ability to play for one another. And so we've really tried to bond hard, not only just knowing each other personally, but seeing the work that you can put in and that trust and that confidence. I think this is the best spot that we've obviously been in our existence. So we're really excited about this season.
What's been the kind of one of the few big things that you've learned about yourself as a head coach? Because there's obviously you coached high school football before you took over as the head coach for the Falcons. But what are a couple of things that you've learned really about yourself as a head coach, as the guy in charge, in these first couple of years with Lincoln Northwest?
I would say the first thing I have learned is don't overlook anything. We've really coached absolutely everything from what's it like to put equipment away? What's the best organizational method? What's the best method of teaching the coaches to how to teach the kids? So getting not only the coaches prepped, but to get the players prepped, but it's like, all right, how efficient can we be? Because we literally have to do everything. The second thing that I would think of that's really helped me kind of alleviate a lot of my stress would be finding coaches that I can trust to get some of the load taken off my plate. I know that over the years, I felt like I was such a control freak. I'm dabbling over here. I'm over here.
Yeah.
I'm just one human. So I've really worked hard to find coaches that I can trust that fit my mold of what I'm asking in terms of core values, what I'm about. And that has really helped tremendously to take some of that load off my plate and be like, here's your jobs. Here's your jobs. So it's really helped to kind of divvy up some of the load.
I would imagine that a lot of these conversations through, and I keep referring, we'll get to this upcoming year in just a second, but I think your situation has been so fascinating. And I've really enjoyed, because you guys got a great facility right by your high school. You got a lot of things that are trending in the right direction for you guys. And I think it's important to, when we talk about the future, to really talk about how we got there as well, the process of it. And so through that, like I'm sure some of these conversations, whether it's been with you and your coaching staff, you internally with yourself, or even with the players, is like, as bad as we want to win right now, as bad as we want to win, there are a lot more, there are many more important things that we need to prioritize first, so that way we can win down the road the right way.
Yes. Yeah. So we really honed in on just the basic fundamental things. We talked about effort, attitude, hard work, being on time, being a good teammate, knowing and doing your job, constantly just reinforcing the basics of everything. We really honed in. Once we got that figured out internally, we're connecting with our feeder program consistently, having common language, making sure that they're on the same page of what we're trying to build. So we have some continuity, so we don't have year to year wonder, what do we have coming up next? And how much do we have to teach in the near future? And then from there, we're probably in mere light of some of the rebuilds, you could say, but we're definitely like continuing to build here. Just basically like the wins, the results will come. We have to focus on process. How do we do things every day? What skills are we creating? What techniques, fundamentals? And this is on and off the field stuff, because I feel like if you do something twice, you've created a habit. So we're trying to create habits every day, and those are good, healthy habits.
We're joined by head coach of Lincoln Northwest football, Brian Lauk. Hey, Coach, you said something there of like the results will come. It's all about process. How difficult is that to instill in the minds of, 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds?
Tremendously hard. I know that they are very much a result-based, immediate. They want something right away, and they want it now. And trust me, I'm the most impatient person as well. I was a kid that was shaking Christmas presents under the tree because I wanted to know what was in there so bad. But getting kids to understand that you can have fun and not know, what that product is, and understanding that the work that is put in around your teammates is tremendously just as valuable as the wins. And so we've tried just some of the basics of competitions in the summer, lifting team competitions, fun activities, things that kind of take away from some of those dreary thoughts or those wonders of, well, we didn't win any games last year. How are we going to do it this year? What is that going to be? And I'm like, don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on today. So very much just you are where you are, be where your feet are, keep working hard, keep being a good teammate. Just a nose to the grindstone type mentality.
You said everybody, whether you're on sports radio, whether you're in a locker room, one of the most popular buzzwords, I think, when we talk about team camaraderie is culture. And you said it earlier. What is that? I love to ask coaches what their definition is of culture. And so for you because I think it's situational based as well. Like there's this umbrella, like, okay, overview, what's it like? It's how you operate. It's how you treat others, like things like that, the culture of the program. But for somebody in your situation for the program, what does culture mean at Lincoln Northwest?
For us, the three culture-based things that we preach that are core values is we're going to demonstrate grit, we're going to improve every day, and we're going to compete. The results are going to fall. Don't worry about the scoreboard. But, when things get hard, what character are you going to reveal? Are you going to pout? Or are you going to turn your head and turn your shoulder against a brother? Or are you going to go shoulder to shoulder against a guy and know that, hey, I got a guy to my left and my right that's going to battle all day for me? Improving every day is huge. The 1% better, everybody's been saying a lot more now about just getting better. And those little steps can lead to big growth in the long run. And so that's what we're trying to preach. Don't worry about wins right now. Let's focus on just getting slightly better at everything we do and then competing. Kids love competition. I think competition breeds growth and improvement. And you got to learn how to win sometimes in order to not lose. And so we've been focusing on doing things over and over again, not so we don't get them wrong. It's just so we can never get them. That's all right. We don't worry about getting them incorrect. It's about, we don't have to worry about it because we know that we get them right every single time.
Yeah. And I would imagine some of that is if you're going to make a mistake, do it at 110.
Yes. Yeah.
So
our culture is what we're doing, not what we're saying, because it's easier to say than do. I think anybody can say whatever they want. But actions speak louder than words to me. I'm a true believer. Show me rather than tell me. And so we've grown that over the years. And so these seniors that are 4 years in our program now have only heard me to preach that. And so I know coaches have come and gone, players have come and gone. Over the years, we've kind of transformed and molded a little bit. It's not so much I want to play football. It's the fact that I love playing football here. So that kind of that not if, but when mentality, that it's going to happen.
We're joined by Lincoln Northwest head football coach Brian Lauk with us. This conversation brought to you by our friends at Edward Stone. You mentioned earlier the continuity. What kind of value does that bring going into 25, where you have a similar schedule as to last year, obviously, right? Flipped flopped, so you're getting familiarity with the opponents, with some of the players that maybe other teams have. I'm sure preparation for those teams are easier, or maybe not easier, but it's just maybe more fluid just because you have film from last year against you guys that is on these teams for some of these guys. Kind of just walk us through what value continuity has going into this specific season of 2025.
I think it kind of helps takes the pressure a little bit off the scheme of things. You can focus more on you rather than that game week necessarily. Oh, what front are they going to run? What are some of their base formations, offenses, and their top dudes? So I think that allows us to kind of explode into a fast forward thinking mentality of, well, we have a lot of our guys back. Our pieces are still all in place. We know the opponent that we played. Now it's just a matter of, can we execute? Can we do the little things? Can we do the simple things so well that we don't get them wrong? And can we do it enough that we can make them mess up? So we've really honed in on the relationship piece on and off the field to continue to build that continuity. We know in football, you can have good plays, you're going to have bad plays. What are you going to do when those bad plays happen? And I think the kids that we have that are going to be in the roles that we have as starters, as backups, all believe in their role and their goal. And their goal is to win the play. And if you lose the play, how do you correct it so you win the next one? So
you mentioned something earlier about how coaches come and go and players come and go, and we have this conversation about, and this is a very delicate conversation or topic, so I want to be careful with how I word this. We talk so much in college football about transfers and portals, and guys move on when it gets tough, right? And you're in a very, very important position to where you're not only trying to get them ready on the field like we talked about, but also off the field stuff, and trying to get them to trust and embrace the process and the grind of it. How fluid, from a high school coach's standpoint, how fluid is high school football in our area?
Are you talking about the difference between going to schools?
Yeah, I think just in general, like just in general of fluidity of you guys as leaders, as coaches, you and your staff have to concern yourself with, are we going to have this guy next year? Is he going to be fully bought in? Just the fluidity of dealing with, because we have these conversations about Nebraska football all the time, and you know it, you're familiar with it, to where it's, okay, 18 to 22. Well, that gets magnified even more. It can be even more difficult when it's 4 years before that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little stressful. I know that some of those things I've learned a lot better over the years as we've developed and got our feet in the ground and actually had some stable thoughts and abilities around us. I've stopped stressing a whole lot about those things. I believe that I focused enough attention on the guys that I love and care for, and if they love and care for me back, I know that they're buying in. And I know some kids have made the decision over the years to part ways, to not want to play football anymore. And I remember vividly the first year playing Elkhorn North, and they were very new as well. I connected with Coach Stanley prior, and he said, you know what? There's some guys out there that chose other than football things. I knew that they could be a great athlete for us, but I also knew if I was begging them to come out and play, they weren't going to be good for us. They were going to be probably a cancer in the locker room. They were going to be a guy that would put blame on coaches, not blame on ourselves, and take responsibility and ownership. And so in terms of transfers and kids that left, we didn't have a whole lot that left. But we did have some kids that stepped away from the game, wanted to focus on some other things, maybe thought that, hey, football's not really for me. And I still love and care for them tremendously. I respect their decision to actually tell me, because there's some kids that kind of shy away from those conversations. And again, they're tough. But, as a young man, as a young person, having that open conversation with somebody that obviously has shown love for them over the years is a delicate one and a tough one. Obviously, I want everybody to play. But at the end of the day, I want kids in Lincoln to know that I believe that our staff and myself are doing our best and will be the best in terms of competitiveness, building relationships, of development. We are very grassroots mentality of, we go out and we connect with kids. We connect on Sundays with our feeder program. We connect with their families. We connect with each other. And we're a very tight-knit group. We're a hard-working group. We're teachers of the game. And the kids that come through Lincoln Northwest are going to be well taught. They're going to be well coached. And I think they're going to be great citizens.
Let's talk about the feeder program real quick, because you and I are both very well connected in that landscape. What kind of benefit is it to have the feeder programs with the way that Lincoln Youth Football is transitioning and improving? I think we can both agree on that part of it. Of improving. What does that do, big picture wise, for the future of your program, the future of high school football in the capital city, as they try to get back on the map as one of the better cities of high school football, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, I think it creates the continuity. I was living in Omaha for 2 years prior to being in Lincoln, and I saw junior Mustangs. I saw junior Jays. I saw all these kids that I'm like, they're wearing that jersey in hopes that they're going to be playing there the next year. Guess what they're running? They're running the same schemes. They're talking the same language. The coaches are connecting with each other. They have coaches meetings separate from the actual high school programs coaches meetings. And I think the families then buy into that. And they know that that coach cares for their kid, and their kid is going to a good place, and they already have that relationship established, and they know what they're going to do, and they expect that kid to be fairly successful. So I think it's huge to have the feeder program in alignment with the high school program. And I think for us, we're on the speed track in the right direction.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Let's talk a little 2025 season here real quickly as we get you out of here. Head coach of Lincoln Northwest football, Brian Lauk, joining us. This conversation is brought to you by our friends at Edward Stone. Now, here's what I would ask you. Who are some guys that we need to be on the lookout for in your program? Some of those guys that maybe are in their fourth year of the program or third year of the program that are going to be some pretty notable pieces for you.
Okay. I'm going to focus on 4 key guys, maybe a fifth. First one is quarterback Sammy Jurgens. He stepped in to be the quarterback role after week 2. We put him in, obviously, against the Scottsbluff team last year because we felt like he was ready and we needed to make a change at quarterback. He's now going to be a junior. He is head and shoulders better than he was last year in terms of football IQ, pre-snap knowledge, knowing what guys need the ball, what the coaches are emphasizing in terms of scheme, technique, and whatnot. So keep a lookout for Sammy Jurgens at quarterback. I would look out for Brady Eichhoff, number 67. He's been a 4-year starter for us. He's been a tremendous anchor on the O-line. He's a great leader, great communicator, great teammate, and obviously a great football player for us. I would also consider Caden Wood, number 0. He's our running back. He would also be a 4-year starter. I know he's been through some injuries and whatnot over the years. Broke his collarbone against Crete last year, week 7. I expect him to be a 1,000-yard rusher. He's 215 pounds. He's got great vision. He's got great speed. And if he stays healthy, Class B is going to be in some trouble on our schedule. Another one, Xander Gearing, number 17, going to be a receiver, slot receiver, plays outside backer for us. He would also be another 4-year starter for us. He's a tremendously savvy, deceptive route runner. He's got tremendously better in the offseason, playing 7-on-7, working on footwork, fundamentals, getting stronger. He's just been an amazing backbone foundation kid for our program. And then I would also pay attention to Mason Salinger, receiver. He's a tremendous kid. He's developed his game tremendously over last year. He's hungry. He wants to prove what he's about. He's a taller receiver. And so I'm excited to see what he's able to do this season.
Last one before we let you go. Brian Lauk, the head coach of Lincoln Northwest football, with us. Let's take this into August 29th. We're in the locker room right before we go out to play Ralston. What's your message to your guys ahead of the first game of the year?
I would communicate to them, hey, we put in the work. We're confident. We trust what we have put in, trust each other. And now it's time to just take the test. We've done all the notes. We've done all the work. Now it's just time to believe in each other and let's celebrate some successes. I'm excited for that night. I'm not nervous whatsoever. I am fully believing in our program to be competitive. Each play, one by one, you usually get 65 offensive plays. What offense are we going to put on the field to get about 65 plays to be successful? Defense anywhere around then, special teams. Like Coach Eckler always says in Nebraska, you got to be great for one play. Give me one great play, whatever special team you're on, from snap to hold to kick, you got to be able to execute. So I'm just telling the kids that they put in the work. Now it's just time to show.
There it is. Head coach Brian Lauk of Lincoln Northwest football joining us here as we continue the countdown to kickoff. Coach, I'm excited to see what you guys can do this year. Obviously, it's on the upward trajectory. We can't appreciate or can't thank you enough for how open you always are with me and in letting me kind of know what's going on inside your program. Talk to you whenever, and I hope that you feel like we're it's a two-way road there because you can always hop on and we can always talk some ball, my friend.
Love it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nick. It's always fun to talk football with you.
There it is. Head coach Brian Lauk from Lincoln Northwest High School. They'll open up their season August 29th against Ralston later on in August. That'll do it. This conversation brought to you by our friends at Edward Stone. Make sure you stay tuned. Plenty of high school coverage coming up on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane.